saying what I say, saying what I believe, and loving hearing myself say it. Rush Limbaugh behind the golden EIB microphone here at 800-282-2882. This is getting interesting now. I just checked news sources during the break. Looks like some leftist journalists are starting to get a little bit nervous about the case in Baltimore against the 6 cops. Because it just happened on CNN. They just pointed out what I just pointed out to you. That, my gosh, this prosecutor got that autopsy report awful fast from the medical examiner. Those things take weeks, sometimes months, and she got it in hours? It seems like it's a little hasty, and they've got some lawyer explaining, yeah, this is a little fast. The autopsy can be done in 4 hours, but the rest of this, it takes a long time. It's like the grand jury investigations for the gentle giant, Eric Garner, 3+ months in each case. And with Marilyn Mosby, she did it here in a couple of hours, less than 24. And they're starting to get worried. I'm going to tell you what they have really done here. If this case is thrown out, and there's one troubling aspect here. You know, the left has its tentacles everywhere. And as I read people like Dershowitz, I mean, he's absolutely right, don't misunderstand. But when Dershowitz talks about the legal system and the law and judges, he is confident that the haste and the lack of evidence and the overcharging, all this, quite naturally could be thrown out or severely reduced. And that, in order to think that, you have to believe that the legal system has not been corrupted. And who believes that? I mean, the left has corrupted everything. The legal system does not stand alone as something untouched by Democrat Party liberal corruption. It has been, certainly. So I don't think it's a slam dunk that local authorities in Baltimore could go along with this just like the state attorney did. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, if Dershowitz is right, however, and if the legal system is untainted and looks at this strictly on the basis of evidence in the law, then these charges either get thrown out or severely reduced. The bottom line is this. You go back to Ferguson, you look, the left lied to all those people. Hands up, don't shoot. Gentle giant minding his own business, murdered in cold blood, shot in the back by a racist white cop. Not true. Not a word of that's true. Look at how many of them don't know that or don't believe that. To this day, citizens in Ferguson, probably all over the country, think that the grand jury lied, that the prosecutor lied, that the state attorney, the DA, everybody involved lied, all because of racism. This is what they've been conditioned to believe. It's what they've been led to believe. It's how they're raised believing. There's no evidence to support the lie, and yet people still do. And when the grand jury indictments came down, there was more rioting, or when it didn't come down, when there were no indictments, when the gentle giant was not found to have been murdered, and the cop was not found to have killed him in cold blood, and in fact was justified. The town was on edge again, and the out-of-town rent-a-mob came in and tried to raise hell starting all. You think the same thing is not going to happen in Baltimore? I mean, the prosecutor goes out there, starts speaking as a member of the protest group, who happens to be the DA, the SA. She goes out and makes herself out to be one of them. She starts talking the language of the cause. No justice, no peace. I've heard your call. I'm going to do what I'm doing to satisfy you. The law, to hell with the law. I'm going to do what I do for justice. Even if it isn't justice as defined by the legal system, I'm going to give you what you want. That's what they heard. I'm going to give you what you want. Just back off and give me time. Don't riot anymore. Back off, give me time. I'm going to give you what you want. Well, she can't make that promise because the case now goes to court. At some point it will, and then anything can happen, as Dershowitz says. What happens if there are no convictions or convictions to much lesser charges? Or if the case is thrown out, you think Baltimore is not going to be a powder keg all over again? And who's going to be responsible for it? That's right. Civic leaders in Boston who have pretty much promised and assured the agitators there that at the end of this, they're going to get what they want, if they even know what that is. But the point is now, I just wanted to reference that it's becoming obvious that some in the media, after a weekend, to get real after their knee-jerk reaction of happiness and delight and thrills over the fact that the DA, the state's attorney, is invested in the cause rather than the legal system. Now they've had time to cool off, and they're looking at it, and they're reading other people's opinions, and they're starting to get worried that the case is weak. Now, they are then, if that is true, if what I see here actually is the case, then they're going to do one of two things. They're going to try to distance themselves from the outcome, or they are going to double down and help the SA move her case with strategically applied media pressure to judges, anybody that might be involved in this case. It won't take long for us to find out which way they're going to go.